No introductions. Kind of just going at it. Kelvin, obviously, with the Cowboys right now. And man, how you doing? First off, first and foremost.
Doing well, bro. Blessed. Just happy to be here. Happy to be back. Happy to be face to face with my guy.
Yeah. And kind of, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about just your upbringing and stuff like that. I know you have like a crazy story. A lot of people don't know. Explain to me, as well as me being like an immigrant, my parents coming over from Nigeria and making that sacrifice in order to have the life that I do have now. Kind of talk to me a little bit about your upbringing and that transition over into America.
Yeah, man. So I was very blessed and fortunate enough to be able to come from Liberia to America. That's something, especially at that time back in 1999, 2000, that was something that didn't happen quite often. So I definitely want to thank my aunt and great aunt, everybody that was a part of making that happen. But I was about 3 years old. I was turning four by the time we came here in 2000. And I don't remember much. I just remember, just the talks about it. I do remember we went to Guinea. We went to Guinea first, and then we ended up coming to the States. We landed in,
Yeah.
I think, New York, I believe, because my family was in Jersey. And the only thing I can remember vividly, I remember thinking that the streets of the U.S. would be golden, like it would be like gold. That's really what I thought. Because the talk of America, back in Liberia, it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I remember that.
Right.
Just coming over, we came over, I think, in October-ish. So it was a lot colder than Africa, obviously, than Liberia. So when I came over here, by the time it was the wintertime, I remember I got my first frostbite. I picked up a snow. I didn't know. My hand was like freezing. And I was like, oh, let me just go to the sink and warm it up. And I put hot water in
Right.
it. And then, bad idea, bro.
That's funny.
Yeah, so we came and we were like 30 deep, I believe. And we were all at my aunt's house. It was a four-bedroom, two-bathroom, two-story house. Had to be about, I don't know, like 1,700 square foot maybe. Nothing over
Imagine.
2,000. And for the life of me, till this day, I don't understand how we all had a bathroom rotation. I really don't understand
Right.
how we did. But but we made it work, bro. We slept on the floor in the living room. We were packed in the living room like sardines in a can, and
Yeah.
we made it happen, bro. And then I think we stayed there for about a year or two, and then we kind of branched off into like a smaller group. And then I think it was about 10 of us. We went to a
Yeah.
two-bedroom apartment, and then we lived there again, sardines in the can. And then it was finally like 2003, I believe my dad got like an apartment with one of my aunts. So now it was smaller. It was just like four or five of us. And in 2004, that's when we eventually moved to Palmyra, which was the town I grew up in. My dad got a house, and we moved into
Yeah.
Palmyra that I grew up in. And I just remember, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just remember living in Palmyra, first getting there. Like I said, I was an immigrant, so I was still like transitioning from like my culture, speaking, having our accent and things like that. I was trying to like, kind of like understand the American culture. For me personally, I was never the type of person where I wanted to fit in per se. My dad always used to tell me like, you're an immigrant, you're not American, and he said that in a way of just remember, when people are doing bad things, like you don't have to put yourself in that category because you're not
Yeah.
them. So that always stuck with me. That developed like a sense of pride because we got made fun of a lot for being African. Because obviously due to media, all they show is starving African kids over here with flies on their
Right.
heads. So that's what we thought. But anyway, so had to deal with that. And for me, like I was never the type, even when I was in like kindergarten and first grade, I never was rolling over. I think that's what developed my sense of humor, being sharp on my toes. Like people always coming at me, so I was like, sure, I'm gonna come at y'all back. And I think that helped develop my wittiness for sure. And just growing up in Palmyra, great town, great people. Not the best living situation as far as like the community, but I think everybody in the community really, had love and appreciation for one another. And growing up from like I say from '04 to I guess 2010, I didn't play football because that's when I used to go to my mom's house over the summertime. And my dad would always tell us like, "Yo, y'all should come play football." But I'm like, I want to go spend the summer at mom's. You know, I was a young kid, right?
Yeah.
So never played football, and I'll always be playing at recess and killing people. And they'll be like, "Oh, you wouldn't do that in pads, though." That's what they were always saying. You won't do that in pads. I'm like, all right, bro. So I believe I was 13 or 14, and then I was finally like, all right, cool. Let me really check out this football stuff, man. So we finally got a chance to play football. It was $100. You know, my dad had to make sure he got that right for me and my brother. So 13, I came out. I had to see the picture. The first day of practice, I put my I put my thigh pads where my knee pads were, and then I put my knee pads on my head. Like it was just I just looked so goofy. And I had a T-Bird face mask as a receiver, and I wore number 80. Terrible look. I don't know why they let me come out like that. And I had baseball shoes and cleats. Buckley's. Yeah.
Imagine.
I had no idea what I was doing. Like you, we were a soccer family. Like that's what parents played back home.
Yeah.
So I played Little League for 2 years, 160 pounds. And then my freshman year, I ended up playing high school football. Obviously, I was gonna be the quarterback. Actually, like you obviously know how far I could throw. I don't have
Hell no.
to. We can skip that part. I was gonna be the quarterback because my school was so small. My graduation class was like 94 people. And that was like the most in years. Had about 300 people in my entire school, I believe. So our team consists of about 30 to 35 people, bro. Like 40 people on the entire team, freshman, varsity, and JV. That would be a great year if we had 40 people. So my coach saw me throw the ball, and he's like, "You might have to be the JV quarterback because we don't have a guy." So thankfully, my guy, shout out to my guy Terry Bailey. Terry Bailey came out, and he was the quarterback. He played safety, and then I was playing receiver. And I was like still adjusting to everything and getting used to playing at that level. And I was doing pretty well, but not quite yet to get on the field. And then that's when I embodied the scout team. I remember we were doing scout team offense, and they would just be throwing me the ball, bro. I was going crazy on the seniors. Every day I'm catching moss in somebody.
Right.
And I believe it was like game 2, someone got hurt or the kid kept dropping the ball. And they threw me in there. They threw me in the game, and I caught my first touchdown. It wasn't even supposed to go to me. It was in the red zone. It was like 10. We was in like 10-yard and going into the red zone, and the guy missed the hitch. It was too high, and it just landed in my lap, and I caught it. And after that, boom, started playing my freshman year. I played defense as well, and then sophomore year came back. Looking forward to it. I got my feet underneath myself. I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm about to go crazy. Granted, at this time, I don't know anything about offers. I don't know how that works
Right.
because, again, my school was very small. The year is 2014. The last time somebody went Division I believe, was like 2009. And that was Karan Pratt. So, our school didn't really have like a system in place for us to get recruited and know what to do. And again, just like the community we were in, like people weren't really looking to, further themselves on a high level like you and I did. We just didn't know. We didn't have the exposure, right? And so sophomore year, I'm just training, preparing myself. And I had a good year, but it wasn't as good as I wanted to be. Like I was still like maturing. I remember one game in particular, I had like my first drop. I was to the left. I ran like a stop and go. It might have been a game-winning touchdown, or it would have tied it up. And I had just dropped it. And I remember that was probably the worst football experience I ever had in my life, like outside of getting injured, bro. I remember that. Like I remember I went home that night and I just went in my basement and I just cried myself to sleep. That's when we played Bordentown.
Yeah.
Bro, I was crying for like 2 hours straight. Like I just felt terrible, horrible. But after that day, I was like, man, I never want to feel like this again. And then that was like my villain story, so to speak, in football. Like that's when I was awakened,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'll make sure I work my butt off. I'm gonna make sure I pay attention to the details. 'Cause I never want to have this feeling again. Like that ignited a flame in me. So then, like I said, I still didn't know about getting recruited. So now it's January of 2014, I believe, going into my junior year, and I'm on Twitter, and I just see this combine people are talking about. It's called the Beast of the East, and I'm like, what the hell is
Right.
this? At the time, I'm working at McDonald's. I started working at McDonald's in eighth grade. Like I said, just a situation, just like help out and just put some money in my pocket. So I was working at
Right.
McDonald's. I think the camp was like 150 or something. So I saved up for that, right? And I had to save up probably 6 checks for that. So I was like, man,
Right.
finally got to the Beast of the East. I've been hearing about this. I didn't even know what it was, bro. So I signed up. I get there and I'm just thinking it's gonna be. Well, I didn't even think it was gonna be anything. I just wasn't sure what it was gonna be, right? So I get there. I had these
Right.
red Nike shorts on. I get there. I see all these cameras. I see Rivals, 24/7 Sports, Scout.com, ESPN. I'm just like, whoa. I had no idea. I didn't
Right.
really know recruiting sites. So I go, I do my thing, and there were a bunch of other kids there from South Jersey who were 4 stars, 5 stars, a bunch of top recruits in South Jersey on the East Coast. And I ended up like outperforming everybody. And everyone was like, yo, who the hell is the kid in the red shorts? No one knew who I was.
Right.
I remember one of the recruiters, the scouts from the media, they came up to me and was like, man, who's your top 5 right now? Which schools are you talking to? How many offers do you have? I was like, none, and none. I haven't talked to anybody. Then everybody was like, yo,
Right.
no one talked to you yet. So after that, that's when I got connected. The guy who ran the camp, it was my OGs. I still keep in contact with them. Marcus Heyman, Preston Brown. Those are the
Yeah.
guys that met there, and they just took me in, bro. Like, I'm very thankful for them. I'm very fortunate to be around them because they took me in. They showed me and my family like the ropes of getting recruited, and put
Yeah.
my name out there. And we used to go on college tours. We'll go to 707 down in Florida for the IMG Academy, and along the way through that drive, we'll get like a huge bus, and we'll hit like every campus, like South Carolina, North Carolina, all the schools going down there. So that was like my first time getting exposed to like college and things like that. So after that, that's when I was like, oh snap, like I actually could get recruited because I wasn't really thinking about it. I was like,
Right.
oh, I can actually do this football stuff. So then, yeah, just fast forward, got around them. Iron sharpens iron. I'm around DBs who are, committed to everywhere in the country. I'm going
Right.
down playing competition in different cities and things of that nature. Interestingly enough, we actually played this one camp in North Carolina one time, and I believe this team was an orange team we played. I forgot their name, but we played that orange
Isn't that
team.
crazy? Yeah. Imagine.
It was NC Lee, I believe. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
And it was a great
Yep.
game. I was dunking on them, right? So I
That's
caught the pass. I'm
hilarious.
thinking the game winner, right? So I'm like, all right, go sit down, chill, go get some water. I look up, last play of the game. I told my coach, I said, yo, it was me and my man Brad Hawkins. He played receiver. I
Yeah.
was like, put me and Brad back there. Like, let us get the jump on. No one's out. No one's gonna out jump on it. He's like, nah, man. I want my DBs to really learn this. I was like, all right, they gonna learn for
Bro, why have you
sure.
never told me this story before?
I was saving it for the pod, bro.
That's
Saving it for the
insane. I
pod.
didn't know that was your team, bro. That's
I was
crazy. What? No
so I'm like,
way.
oh, I'm like, put us back there, bro. They have to go deep. Man, ready, said, what? I look up, bro, it looked like planes flying over my head. That's all I do is look up when I saw that football. This guy, I can see this kid, this tall kid, looks like me from a distance, bangs on the DB's head, touchdown, throws up the
My
U. I'm
God,
like, yo,
bro.
who the hell is
Oh
this guy?
my God, bro! There's no way this is real, bro. There's no way that
I'm like,
that
who
was.
the?
That was you, bro. There's no way that you're
It
on
was
the
me.
other team. That is
We were
actually
on the
insane, bro.
turf field. We
What?
were on that turf field, bro. I remember.
Wow, bro. You
'Cause
never
Duck,
told me this story, bro. I've known you for how many years? You never told me this story. That's insane,
Duck, because Duck was the DB, right?
bro.
Because I remember Duck had the slugs in. Duck was one of y'all
Yeah,
DBs,
Doug.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bill was there.
Yep.
Y'all had, I think Marquil Osborne was there as well.
Yeah, Mark Quill. Yeah,
Yeah,
you went to Tennessee. We had
bro.
Sam Hartman was one of our
Yeah,
quarterbacks. Like, bro, what?
dude, this kid threw up the U. I'm like, who is this? And back then, I'm a little better now, but back then I wasn't giving anybody props. I'm like, man, suck, man. Threw up the U. Who is that, yo?
Yo,
Fast forward,
no way,
it was
bro.
you.
That's crazy, bro.
That is
Bro, the
insane.
fact you held up to this story for however many years is insane, bro. That's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that was us. We,
Wow.
we were we were the Jersey team. Next level grades, NLG.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow, bro.
Crazy.
Wow. That's
That's it.
crazy, bro.
Nah, that was
That's a
crazy.
story right there, bro. Oh my god. But talk to me about that for you. I know like just getting like the offers right, and then being able to make it out. When one, did your mind expand into okay, like there's an actual opportunity for me to make it out? Like like is it almost like God leading you to go to that camp? You didn't even know what's gonna happen, as well as like was there any internal pressure or maybe did you feel external pressure being able to handle everything of feeling like you needed to make it out because of the situation of being immigrants and everything that you've been through in your upbringing?
Honestly, bro, I never felt pressure when it came to football. Simply because my dad will always tell me, he's like, what you have is a gift. People who came before you, my grandmother, my grandfather, he's like, these people prayed, fast, sacrificed so much. And, we truly believe it was for this, right? Like all these prayers and everything they went through, it was for me to have these gifts, like blessings upon my family. That's what my dad instilled in me. So for me, I never felt like it was pressure. Like I truly believe I had a blessing because, based off my upbringing, I'm not supposed to be here, or I never should have been recruited, right? Like nothing was
Yeah.
aligned. Like we weren't building this entire time since I was a kid. Like it just happened overnight. Like it had to just be God. It was just God. Like everything just clicked like that. So for me, just kind of reflecting on how things were and how things just changed just so fast, that's when I knew like, man, this was meant for me. Like God was the one who guided my steps. So when it came to like thinking about making it out or like pressure, bro, I just knew like, yo, if God could take me from 0 to 100,
Right.
then I'm meant to be here. So that's how I always looked at it. I looked at it like, yo, this is a gift. This is something that's meant for me, no matter what.
That's a blessing, and really NC State too. That there's such a crazy transition that happens,
Yeah,
and I want to talk about from senior year to
sure.
freshman year. What was that? Because a lot of guys can't have that switch flip. They get to college, it's the bright lights, like it's a lot of more pressure, a lot more intensity. For yourself, how are you able to keep that, maintain that, and understand like, no, I belong here. I'm supposed to be as good as I say I am. It's not too
Right.
big for me.
Sure. For me, bro, I always believe that physically I'm gonna arrive somewhere. I believe that mentally I've had to arrive there beyond, way before my physical self, right? So I'm always preparing my mind. Like I was a senior in high school during the season, and I'm preparing myself to be at Carter Finley. The thing is, a lot of people are afraid to do that because it's be where your feet is. Yes, I do agree to be where your feet is, but I also believe that you have to prepare yourself because the element of surprise is the biggest thing, right? So mentally, I was prepared. Like I remember Coach McDonald. I shout out to him because I was originally committed to South Carolina. That was actually my dream school because that was the first big school I saw.
Yeah.
I remember he told me, he was like, hey man, I know you committed to South Carolina, but Coach Spurrier is gonna retire. And when retires, give me a call. I'm like, yeah, but whatever. Coach Spurrier retired, and I remember on my official visits to NC State, it was a special one because my OG, his name is Biggs. Like people know him from the neighborhood. He ended up passing away like literally that weekend, like that Friday when I was on
Mm,
my way to NC State. So it kind of like put a rut in the visit, but then I felt like that something that was symbolic as well. So then
mm.
after I decommitted from South Carolina, McDonald called me, and the reason why I respect McDonald till this day, I remember he came to my school, bro. I think from October all the way up to June, he pulled up to Jersey every
What?
every
No
week, bro.
way, bro.
Literally,
No way,
no,
bro.
like it was like I forgot. It's either October or it was like November or December, one of the months. But he pulled up every single week just to check in, just to say what's up. And he would bring drink and he'll bring some guys along with him, but like he would pull up to come to like track practice and stuff like that. So I had like a
Wow.
tremendous amount of love and respect for George McDonald. And the best thing about it is, I remember I sat there. I was like, "Hey, coach, I want to leave in 3 years. I want to leave my junior year."
Mm,
And he was like, "All right." And I was like, "Hey, I need to have a plan academically as well because when I leave, I want to make sure I only have like a semester or two and an internship." So that was the plan. So I'm doing all these things, bro, in like December of my senior year in high school. Cause I'm like, yo, when
it's
I get there, I'm
powerful.
leaving. You know what I mean? And it's like that's just what I believed in. So once I got to school,
Hmm.
bro, I was on a mission, man. I got like again like that immigrant mentality. Like, yo, I'm not gonna be the masses. I'm gonna be the one who stands out, right? And that's just what I embodied. I was
Hmm.
fortunate enough to get around a guy like Steph Lewis. Steph is a really good guy, man. We still talk to this day.
Yeah.
One of my great
Shout
friends.
out
He's the
Steph.
one who hosted me on my official visit, and he showed me the ropes. He showed me the hard work. He showed me how to navigate through the building and just how to do the right things. And I remember my first practice, bro, at fall camp. I remember this is the only time in my life I can remember being nervous for football, and it was walkthrough. It was literally walkthrough, and I was dropping the ball, and I don't know what it was. And then Steph just came up to me. He's like, bro, you're a great player, bro. This is just like high school.
Mm.
This is nothing. It's just like high school. I was like, damn, you're right. After that, bro, I just started like
Good.
it just started clicking. Like everything worked out. Like it's crazy how someone could say something so profound and just hit you at the right time. And that's what
Right.
I took from that. And then everything just slowed down for me from freshman year.
Yeah. And the power of saying something gets done. Like there's a man that was so powerful what you said about setting your intention, then preparing yourself like the intention is already about to come. Right. A lot of people say they want to leave in 3 years, and then they just get there. They're lackadaisical. They're not intentional about their time. Like your time was so valuable. Each and every single thing that you were doing about even graduating. Right. Like it's like we're
Right.
putting those things in place for ourselves because we say this is done. And like I don't. It's just so powerful because it's like before it even happened, you're preparing your own mind for that reality to come, and that's what ends up happening for yourself. It was not like it was not accidental that you left in 3 years. It's like no, I planned for this. I talked about this. I put that intention out. That's so important for each and every single athlete. So for yourself too, like talk about that transition of consistency because you are the most consistent person I probably ever met. You and Thayer Thomas, and discipline with it. The routine of everything was
Yeah, man.
so no matter what happened, like because there was moments in time where things obviously wouldn't go our way, right? Like as any
Yeah.
athlete, but you're able to fall back on your systems. Talk about that mindset because it's so hard for athletes to allow things, especially the external, the results to fluctuate our feelings. But you were the most consistent at being back and controlling your internal world that I probably have ever been around, honestly.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it really comes from my faith. That's number one, my foundation, being a Christian. And growing in my faith, I learned so much reading the Bible. And the one thing I learned is that the heart is very deceiving. Uh, Paraphrasing here, that's why one scripture says that trust in your Lord with all your strength and lean on Him and not our own understanding, because our heart is very deceptive.
Hmm.
Like our emotions change every day, right? So I'm like, look, listen,
Right.
regardless of the outcome, here's my input. The output is great, but my input is going to remain the same. And I felt like for me, I always wanted to be mellow, like be right here, every time. Good, bad, I'm right here. So my reaction emotionally is going to be the same regardless, right? Because I personally believe that if you ride the highs, you're gonna ride the lows. Like if you get emotionally high, you're gonna get emotionally low. So for me, it's like everything that I intake, I just was always just mellow. Like had a good play, great. Had a bad play, great. Like my approach was always I wanted the next play to be better. So for me, it didn't change. Whether it was good, I wanted it to be better. If it was bad, I wanted it to be better. So that was my mindset throughout. So I'm like, bro, the results are the results. Like, no matter how hard I work or how hard I don't work, if these results were meant to be like this, it's going to be like this. Obviously, my work can help put me in the best position. But at the end of the day, I mean, you've experienced this as well as me. You know, some of our hardest games we ever played, we put the most work in that week. It's very confusing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like,
Yeah.
man, listen, regardless of what happens, I want to do better. If I have 100 yards this game, I want to have 110 next game. So my standards for myself
Yeah.
was always the highest, regardless. And you know, it looked like it was stoic, like, and people would be like, "Man, are you even like satisfied? Like, are you even happy?" I'm like, "Bro, listen, I was already expecting to get 100 yards. Like, this isn't news. Like, I'm grateful for it, obviously, but like I said,
Yeah.
my mind has already like started feeding into all these things in January when I was catching 300 footballs a day. So it's like I
Right.
was when you see a movie already and then you see it with everyone else, they're gonna oh snap, oh whoa, wow. I've seen this already. For me, it's like, oh okay. All right, here goes Saul coming out with a chainsaw. Like mentally I've
Hmm.
already seen this replay over time. So now that it's happening, it's like thank God, right on cue, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I'm taking that one.
That's
I'm
how
taking that one. That's so powerful. We've already seen that movie in our own head, and that's what I love about that is that with everything that you've done in your life, you know, talking about being so intentional and really like setting out for something, praying for something, then preparing our own self for that. It's like we walk into that state already. Like we walk in it with faith. We walk into that vibrational state that we're already matching it, and we're stepping. It's just another step. For you guys, it may seem a
right.
little bit crazy, but I've seen this in our own head, right? Living in our own reality. I always talk about Nick McLeod as well. One of the most delusional, not delusional in like in a negative connotation or a negative context, but like his mind was so sharp that no matter what happened, he truthfully believed that he was as good as he said he was. Right? Like the results didn't even matter. Like we're not swayed by those external things or even just like what happens. Right? Like if we have an intention and we know that we're heading there, we know it's going to happen. And for yourself, like talk about a little bit the competition with him. You guys always went up against each other each and every single day.
Yeah.
Talk about the intensity of practice, though, like the way you went about practice, how important the details of practice was, because I don't think a lot of athletes understand that.
Bro, off rip. I remember I think me and Nick talked to each other May of the year we were coming in and we just introduced ourselves. It was like, man, I'm ready to work. It was like, yo, I'm trying to get to the league. And that's where we were. And when I met him, like Nick is a very serious guy. Like you know how he is, right? So for me, it was like like brotherly competition, bro. Like I never seen anything like it. And I never had a teammate like that I was going against. Like I never wanted to kick a guy's ass so bad, but then I had so much love for him. Like it was crazy, bro. And we just developed our relationship. Like we came in together. We were roommates in the dorm as freshmen, and then we roomed together the other years as well. But bro, we just went at it every day, bro. Like it was just a battle. Like you would think this man, we did something to each other. We had like a bad beat,
Yeah.
like 10 years old or something. Like, and he brought the best out of me, bro. And like you said, his confidence. Like it's hard to go against a guy who 100% believes, like truly believes he's better than you. And it's like no matter what you
Hmm.
do, it's like you like in a boxing match, you're punching somebody and they're still standing up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like that's how Nick was, and then he would punch you as well. he was just resilient,
Mm,
bro, and he played with high energy in practice. And he was so competitive, very competitive. Everything we did, even debating about music, like this man is very competitive, and that's what I took liking to him because of his competitive nature. And he made me a much better player, you know what I mean? And I got to see how much better he got from the first day we got to school. Like we truly left that building better than we came in. And one of the main reasons for me personally is because of Nick McLeod. And I'm very happy to see where he's at right now. He's with the Chicago Bear.
yeah,
He's
man.
carving out a really nice career for himself in the league. And I'm not surprised at all with that type of motor and the skills
Yeah,
he has. The sky's the limit for him for sure.
absolutely. And like two things with that, right? For yourself, right, being two-time first team All ACC, um, how easy was it? I always talk about the intensity that we bring into practice. Other players aren't able to match that when we're going 100% at everything, right? Scouts is not a time to do 70%. Scouts is a time for 100%. Those are game reps, right? Taking those intentional moments and details, the watching of the film, rerunning that back, even walkthroughs, your own self, you'd watch back, and then you get to game time. Somebody else is not able to match your intensity because you've been going at it 100%, and then competing with somebody like Nick McLeod, as well as some of the guys that you've been around that you're able to be around, right? Like Naheem, Jalen Samuels, obviously Jacoby, Bradley Chubb. Talk about the influence those guys had on you as well, um, that have helped you shape out your career in the NFL as well as your college career.
Yeah, bro. Still sharp and still. Like, just wanting to be the best. Like, I'm so competitive. I love competing so much. As a kid, I used to cry when I lost in the game. Like, that's how much I love to compete. So I always wanted to be the best. So when like Steph, you, Jacoby, like we wanted to compete, like we used to put up that chart every day after practice where we have our targets, our explosive plays, and our drops. I'm like, I want to be number one every day. Why not? So like just that level of competition, like I've always felt like practice was very important because when it's the game time, I just want to close my eyes because I put in the work. And I hate losing. I hate watching a rep on tape and I lost that rep. Like I speaking of Nick, I remember one time he made this ridiculous one-handed catch on me in practice one time, and I think I remember he clipped it. He put on his snap, and bro, I was on 10. I'm like, what? I was so mad, bro. I was very mad. And the next time I practiced, I was like, yeah, I have to get him. I have to get him. So just little things like that. That's why I took practice so serious because I hate losing. Like it really bothers me. And when you get around a guy like Bradley Chubb who feels the same way and he's on the opposing side of the ball, that's what makes the competition even better. Because I'm like, this guy's trying to kill my quarterback, so I got to get open right now. You get around guys like you, Steph, Jacoby, who are great players as well. I'm like, man, Emeka made a great catch. I gotta make a great catch too. Like we were really feeding off of each other all the time, and that's what made it so good because it was driven
Yeah,
by us. You know, Thunder he built a great culture in our strength conditioning program as far as competing, and that's what really led us to being so competitive. I think for sure, and trying to kick each
yeah.
other's ass in
And
practice.
being that number one guy in the standard of the room, right? Our environment that we surrounded ourselves with, how important that was. Talk about, even if you feel something, those emotions that you feel of maybe a bad game. I remember the Clemson game, obviously, you came back after that. You had 250 yards against Syracuse, what, three touchdowns or something like that? Something insane, right? Video game like numbers after a performance where it could have easily just allowed you to just get back into that like bad habits or like some most people fall back on. Talk about staying in that standard or not allowing it to drop no matter what happened.
Bro, that was one of the tougher moments in my entire career. But that taught me a lot for sure because I put a lot into the routine at that time. Like I was married to the routine. Like I'm not a superstitious person by any means, but I enjoy my routine, right? So if I would have left this pen that I always bring to write on my notes, I would run back to the hotel or I'll have somebody go get it from my dorm. And I was just so married to the routine, bro. I feel like I put too much pressure on the routine, and I thought that guaranteed a successful game day. In the Clemson game, I remember coming off a bye week from Boston College. You and I had like a really great game. I think we both had like 100 yards that game, BC, and we had a bye week. And till this day, that was the best 10-day stretch period of practice I've ever had in my life. Like I don't think I missed a single target that day. And thinking about it, tell you how obsessed I am with it. Cause I remember like my targets. Like I think I was like 27 for 27, like six explosive
Yeah.
plays, bro, in like a period, 10-day period, bro. I was so confident. I felt so great. I'm like, it's Clemson. We're playing on ABC. They're the number two team. Scouts are gonna be there his junior year. I'm about to be a first round pick just off of this game. And I remember D. Larry used to throw the ball to me every time in the end zone before we used to go in. I remember I was just making crazy catches. I'm like, yeah, bro, this is about to be a breeze. This is gonna be cake. Came out there. I think the first play was wide drive. I had the 10-yard out. AJ Terrell was sitting on it. He broke it up. I'm like, all right, I'm sitting on the route. That's cool. So then came back, had a double move, come back and go. Bro, killed him on the comeback and go. Probably had like 10 yards of separation. I'm running to the right. Finley throws a perfect ball, and then it just went right through my hands. I couldn't believe it. Like sometimes you have, bro, this drop, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, wait, what? I'm looking at my glove. I'm like, bro, what the hell just happened? That was the one game in my entire life that I feel like I checked out of. Like I remember I was just like, I told McDonald, I was like, yo, come get me. Bro, I checked out of that game because I made it. I put so much pressure on that game. You know what I mean? Like I felt like that game was the end all be all. And I remember at halftime I was like, damn man, I'm not even gonna get drafted anymore. Like I probably had to come back for my senior year. Like the devil was putting so much in my head. And I remember when I went home that day, I just felt so down, bro. And I didn't even have the strength to really pick myself back up. So then I started leaning on God, not leaning on my family. I remember I called my dad and I spoke with him. I was thinking about my grandma. She died when I was like 11. I was thinking of her a lot that week after Clemson. I was talking to my mother. Like I really like leaned on my family when I felt like I was falling. And that really helped. That kept me grounded. And I dedicated that game to Syracuse, to my grandmother. So she was definitely on my mind. And I remember my dad sent me this text during the week, and it was a picture of me in first grade at a school photo. And he was like, "Who is this kid who always smiled and knew like the best things were ahead of him?" I'm just like, bro, I was so mad that week. I'm like, bro, why didn't you text me? But bro, that reminded me so much of how far I came. Like I saw that picture and I saw that kid, that 7-year-old kid. I'm like, yo, I can't even fathom where I would have been. Like I can't even imagine being where I'm at now. And just
Right.
thinking about it now and give me so much chills. Like I just thought about everything I went through. And I was like, wow, man, that kid would definitely be proud of me, of how I am. And that just like snapped me back, bro. So we get to Syracuse, and I was just like, I wasn't 100% confident, but my faith within myself was high, right? And my family was high. I feel like I was playing for them at that time. And I remember we got the warm ups, and first pass I had a slant, I dropped it. I was like, bro, again? Come on, dog.
Right.
What? That entire week, I was like, bro, I'm just focusing on the day. Like, just focusing on the day, and I'm focusing on the game, right? So it's like, once I get to the game, I'm not thinking about the work I put in. I'm just focusing on this right here. And I remember I just told myself, I was like, look, one play at a time. Catch the ball. Be real intentional with catching the ball with my hands. And that's the entire game in Syracuse. That was it, bro. One play at a time. Be real intentional. That's all I kept saying to myself. And then they
Powerful.
passes just coming like just. I think I went 12 for 14, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just going crazy, bro. Like that game felt like I was playing at like a 40% speed. Everything was slowed down for me. And that right there was when I knew I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely built
Yeah.
for this.
Valid. I love it. I got goosebumps as well. Being in that flow state, just the intention of the present moment. You know, we take for granted the present. That's where all the magic happens. It's not in the past failures. It's not in the future occurrences, but only the present. When we get back into that, is where everything exists for our own life. And I'm gonna just transition a little bit farther, right? Like you get drafted and everything. I'm speeding it up a little bit, you know, but
Sure.
the injury obviously that you went through, because this is when you told me this story like a couple of weeks, man, it really just like changed my perspective on just honestly life. Going through that injury, going to the DC Defenders, and making it back into the NFL. I know we talked about this before a little bit, but man, tell me that story again, because that can like change somebody's life, honestly. Just everything that you went through and how you got to the point where you're at now.
Yeah, bro. It was heartbreaking because I mean you were at my draft party, right? So it's like we obviously
Yeah.
thought I was gonna go second, third round at worst. So even me falling to the sixth, that that hurt. Obviously everybody I love being in the room and my name not getting called on day two. I remember I walked to the parking lot and I couldn't hold myself together. I just started crying. So that was a lot enter into the league. And then thankfully enough, I had a pretty good rookie year. Rest in peace to my guy, Dwayne Haskins. He was a quarterback. I was there with him, Terry. We had a pretty good rookie year. In my second year, I was supposed to be, the number two receiver. Terry, obviously, number one. And I was putting in a lot of work. I started working in like February. And that was COVID year 2020, so we didn't have OTAs. So working, training every day. And then June comes, just another day working, training. And then it was a weird day that day. I remember we started training a little late. Like I showed up early and everyone else came late. So I was already warming up for like 2 hours. And I remember
Right.
Terry, he ended up leaving because he got there early with me as well. And he's like, yeah, bro, I'm dipping because I just feel a little, for me, I just love working. So I was like, whatever. So then I went to go catch a sideline pass to the right. I went to toe tap. I went to toe tap my right leg. And instead of, usually your feet land flat on the ground so your knees absorb everything. My feet land to the side. So then everything just like snapped back. It was like an insane hyperextension. So I ended up tearing my ACL, my LCL, dislocated my kneecap, and a
Wow.
couple other injuries. Well, tired knee, completely gone. I couldn't walk for 2 months. That was definitely the hardest part of my life that I ever been through. Because physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything was just it was just out the window. And it was a tough recovery because I wanted to play. But the rehab itself wasn't hard because I knew I was going to dominate it. But just not being on the field, that was the part that was frustrating. So then fast forward, 2021, I get back. I'm still about 80%. I'm not really fully there yet. I ended up getting released. They brought me back to the practice squad. I remember it was like 3 weeks after I got released. I remember I texted Coach Rivera. I was like, hey, man, I'm still around. Like, I would love to be an asset to the team. And, like, that text message was what made him give me a call, like, 2 days later. And he's like, hey, we
Wow.
already know what you bring to the table. Like, just show up. Just come. You don't have to work out anything. So then that was it. So then 2021, I got there. I was doing well on practice squad. 2022 came. This is when I actually felt 100% now, 2 years post-surgery. And I felt like I did really well. Like I was leading the charts, or I was like top two during camp with the targets and the explosive plays and things like that. But obviously that wasn't enough, so I ended up getting released. So now I'm back home. I went back home to Houston. That's where I was staying at. And man, those was when the dark days started, bro. Like from
Mm.
2022, September 2022 to like 2024, like February. Didn't get any workout. No one was checking for me. People don't even know the story. I went to the USFL 2023, and I wasn't working out that much prior to that because I just didn't have any faith or hope. I just started like chilling, so I wasn't my best. I went there to the what's it called, the Philadelphia Stars in Michigan, and they actually ended up releasing me. I went there in the middle of camp, and I didn't show my best, so they released me. And then that was hard for me because I'm like, damn, if I'm getting released by a USFL team, like I definitely don't have a shot at the NFL
Right.
for sure. You know what I mean? And when you're coming from where we came from, you feel like you're essentially above that type of competition for sure. So that was definitely a
Hmm.
shatter to my confidence and everything. So when I got home, I had to really dig deep, bro, because I was like, man, is this football stuff really meant for me? I started questioning myself. I started questioning God. And I was like, I think I should probably pivot. So then I was thinking about going to Canada. I got everything set up for Canada. I was supposed to, because I lost my passport. So they set it up for me to get a same day passport change. And then when I got there, I was like, I just wasn't feeling it. So I just passed on that offer. I was supposed to do like a coaching job at the University of Missouri, at Mizzou, sorry. And I enrolled as a grad school and everything about the GA. I was looking at quotes to ship my card to Missouri. Just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
just didn't feel right. And then a few weeks later, that's when the DC Defenders like called me. It was like, hey man, we want to sign you. We were at practice in Washington 2022 during camp. We know what you bring to the table. Like we need you on our team. I'm like, wow. Like it actually felt good hearing the team telling me they needed me after basically being cut and rejected like 4 or 5 times,
Right.
right? So then, you know, obviously being a free agent for 2 years, like I'm not working, life is changing, right? Life is different. I'm adjusting from not playing football in every aspect of my life. So I was like, man, I need to move to Dallas because that's where the hub was for the UFL. So I was like, man, I'm gonna take a gamble. Like, I'm gonna move to
Nice.
Dallas, get an apartment. I already have a house in Houston, right? I'm gonna pay for two things at once. But I'm like, man, I'm rolling the dice. Like, this was my last year trying to play football. It's 2024. I said, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna pay for training and everything. So I moved to Dallas, August of 2023. And, bro, I just get in the chamber, bro. Like Goku in the chamber. Like, I
Yeah.
just locked isolated. I didn't see my dog for 6 months. I just isolated myself, bro. I'm just training, right? So then we get to 2024, Defenders, here we go. Boom. Doing well at camp, everything going smooth. Then I end up like having like a slight hamstring tear. And I was a little nervous because obviously getting cut so many times, and with the UFL, you don't really have a lot of spots. So if you're not healthy, you could easily be a candidate to get cut. So I rushed my hammy back just to show like I'm good. So then started playing in UFL, started off a little slow, and then I started picking it up. Like they started feeding me, giving me the ball. I became like a huge asset to the offense. Started doing very well. So then 8 games in, I'm like one of the top receivers in the league, and I end up like pulling my hamstring, grade 2 tear. So then I had to shut it down for the rest of the season. So I'm like, damn. So now it's about May, I believe, mid-May, and then teams are calling it. I think the first team to call me was like the Ravens, and a couple of teams calling, but I'm like, damn, I can't go because of my hammy issue. So then I'm just rehabbing. I think it was like an 8 week rehab. So I'm rehabbing. So the first week that I got done rehabbing, I started running. That's when I had a call from the Falcons, the Jaguars. So I'm like preparing for that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the Jaguars and the Falcons this weekend. I'm still not 100% comfortable yet because I haven't fully opened up. This is my first week running. So I believe it's a Thursday or a Friday. And my agent calls me and says, hey, the Cowboys want to work you out. And I'm like, oh shit. She's like, you want to go? I'm like, for sure. I'm already in Dallas. So I'm thinking I'm just driving 10 minutes across the street. But I forgot that they do camp in Oxnard. So then she was like, yeah, you'll have to get a flight. She was like, I just want to tell you all the factors. She was like, if you go to Dallas and Oxnard and you don't make the team, then you have to fly to Atlanta for their workout. And the time zone different. You're going to be on the flight. Like your body might not be the best. I just want you to know all your options. So I was like, nah, I'm still going to go to Dallas. I'm going to roll that dice. Like
Right.
everything's right here in Dallas. Everything is perfect for me. So I'm going to roll the dice and go to Dallas workout. When I got there, I had to like psych myself out. Like people always talk about psyching yourself out in a negative way, but I had to psych myself out in a positive way because the odds were stacked up against me. I've been waiting for a workout for 2 years. I finally get one. And now that I get one, I'm not even 100% because of my hamstring, right? And for me, the knock on me has always been my vertical speed. So obviously having a bad hammies not gonna help that. But I was like, and I haven't ran routes like that. But I was like, bro, I've probably ran routes about a billion times
Right.
in my life. I've caught the football a billion times in my life. I look good in a workout on the field a billion times in my life. What makes this time even different? You know what I mean? I was just like locked in. I said, man, F that. I'm not going to cave into negativity. Like, God wouldn't bring me all the way over here just for me to get nervous. So I went
Right.
into the workout bro, and I was just sliding in that workout. They ended up signing me. That was like the greatest thing ever, man. Like to me, that was a blessing. Like seeing myself on the couch coming back at 27 after being hurt and getting the opportunity to play with the Cowboys, bro, that meant so much to me for sure. And going out there at practice, like making, the team, obviously practice squad, but making the team when I got there in the middle of camp, like beating people out, it just meant so much.
Yeah, that's such a blessing, man. And for you, right? Like through all these trials and tribulations and everything that you've been through, I would say, what is like one common core, maybe message or maybe affirmation or quote that you live by that keeps you going, that you can just, okay, I'm in this situation, there seems like there's no way out. Obviously, of course, like our faith in God is the number one most important thing, but if there's like a short quote or affirmation or message that you live by, what do you think that would be for your whole entire life?
I'll say Ecclesiastes 7:8, I'm paraphrasing. It basically says that today, like you should judge things at the end, right? Like today isn't the end all be all. Like the beginning of something, it's not what you should harp on. You should harp on the end. So for me, it's like no matter where I was, I always knew, bro, I'm working towards something. So forget where I'm at now. I can't be in my emotions right now. Let me judge it when I finish. Like that's how I handle every season. Like I'm not in my emotions during the season. Let me get emotional after the season, right? Same with the game. I'm not gonna get emotional now. I'm gonna get emotional when I watch tape. So for me, I always want to conclude something first because everything's a work in progress. So I just always believe, like, bro, my entire life, the beginning, if I would have looked at my life in the beginning, I would have thought I would have amounted to nothing, right? So for me, I was never an analytic guy or a statistic guy because for me, the stats, for me, I'd still be in Liberia or I'll still be in Jersey or I would have just been another player at NC State who didn't make it to the league. So I never cared about the odds or the stats because I feel like God pushed me beyond that. Like I broke those barriers. So that's one thing I live with. Another thing I also live with was I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's one of my favorite quotes. It's a Jay-Z quote. And I like that quote because it's like, yo, if I'm gonna do something, then I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. Like, why be conservative with my thought process? Why be conservative with my work? Why be conservative with my dreams? Life is so precious, right? We get every day. It's not guaranteed. So if I'm gonna live a day, why not live it to the fullest? Like, why not die trying to go big? And that's what I
Right.
always look at life as. Because it's like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability because it's a blessing to even have the opportunity to do it. And I think a lot of people really don't even pay attention to that part. Like the fact that you're even in position to achieve something, whether you achieve it or not, itself, that's a blessing within itself. So for me, it's like I'm taking advantage of it, bro. 1000%.
Amazing, amazing. That's powerful. And I know we could obviously talk for hours, but wanted to end off with the special, message and event that you have going on. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. So me and my trainer, we're gonna be partners on this. Michael Moses. We want to start, or we're gonna start a youth flag football club, mainly for young women, U18. Obviously, flag football is something that is merging because of the Olympics in 2028. I got inspired from it because I have a little sister. She's 17 now, but she loves football. She always wanted to play, and obviously, her growing up, that wasn't the ideal thing for women. So she always wanted me to train her, but I was always away with football. So she was like, "Man, you gotta go and train people. Like once you have the time, like train some girls. Like girls want to play football too." So that's where I got the inspiration. So it's going to be here in Dallas. It's called a Skill Zone Nation season. That's what we're going to call it. And it's going to be a youth flag football club. We're going to get into tournaments, We're gonna train girls and train guys as well, but the tournaments are gonna be more so girls to start off with. And it's just something where we just want to pour into the young women, like give them world class training. My guy Michael Moses, he trained professional NFL athletes, D1 athletes, track athletes as well. So just like strength conditioning, and then just showing them the game like how we learn it, right? Like showing them the angles of the routes and understanding how to catch the football. Just giving those young women the same opportunity to learn football. Because I feel like from what
Yeah.
I've seen, kind of just letting them run out there because people feel like, oh, the girls are just having fun. Like, no, they're competitive as well, probably more competitive than a lot of us, and they want to execute too. So I just want to kind of be an asset to them to pour into the skills that I learned as well, along with Michael, and just help them out, bro, and just go out there and compete and change their lives, just like how, you know, next level grades changed my life.
Absolutely, and I love that. I love that you're always giving back to community, and then giving back to your family as well. Like you're just a very humble, well-grown person that was able to take their parents' lessons and instill that back into the community, back into people, even myself, right? I want to give you your flowers for everything that you've done for NC State, okay? So, of course, Torrey Holt, Jericho Cotry, the guys that came before us, of course,
Sure.
TJ Graham and all those guys, we're always very grateful. But I feel like for a period of time, there's a little bit of a dip off for NC State, right? And you were the
Right.
staple piece. I just truthfully believe that changed that receiver room, changed the standard room. You and McDonald, God bless McDonald, changed that whole entire standard for like this is our new normal, right? I wanted to carry that on. Thayer wanted to carry that on, right? All the guys, Devin Carter, everyone, like we just carried this legacy to where we got that to a point where NC State was on the map, right? Everybody that's also been a part of that, right? Jacoby, Bradley Chubb, all those guys were able to help change this thing and get it to where it's at now. So I wanted to give you your flowers, and I'm very appreciative for you, and obviously just taking your time out today, man. Truthfully,
Appreciate it, bro. Definitely happy to see you,
yeah.
man. Keep doing your thing, bro. You're definitely reaching a lot of people. A lot of people send me your videos all the time. Like you wouldn't even know the amount of people that just send me your clips. Like, bro, your boy Mecca, man, is really speaking to everybody. So I definitely love what you're doing, bro, for sure.
Nah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, brother. Yeah, God bless. Thank you so much, Kelvin.
Yes, sir.